The mention of the Victorian era conjures images of corsets, petticoats, voluminous skirts, bonnets, and distinguished top hats. This period was characterized by the intricacy and vibrancy of its clothing, mirroring the societal changes and advancements of the time. Victorian fashion diverged from the styles prevalent under previous British monarchs. As its name suggests, Victorian fashion drew inspiration from the era's foremost fashion influencer, Queen Victoria herself. The Queen epitomized the fashionable silhouette of the period, favoring modest styles characterized by slim waists and minimalist designs. So, let's explore the Victorian era clothing trends. Before we start, please support my channel by clicking like and subscribe buttons. Crinoline. In approximately 1856, the crinoline emerged, swiftly transforming the landscape of women's fashion. It supplanted the cumbersome petticoats previously worn, offering a novel approach to silhouette shaping. Crinolines, characterized by their hoop-like structure or cage design, were nestled beneath skirts, granting women greater mobility while preserving the coveted bell shape. Crafted from rigid materials like horsehair or steel, crinolines found favor among women across social strata, despite their discomfort and practical challenges. Negotiating stairs or seating oneself became daunting tasks in these contraptions. Yet, crinolines bestowed Victorian dresses with a distinct beehive allure, expanding skirts dramatically outward from the wearer's body. The bustle. During the 1860s, women shifted their preference towards the bustle, aiming for a slender silhouette from the front and sides. This undergarment, encircling the waist and typically comprising a metal frame or padded cushion, aimed to sculpt a rounded fullness at the back of the dress, supporting weighty, ornate skirts. Comparatively more practical than the crinoline, Bustle still demanded women sacrifice ease of movement and comfort for fashionable contours. These structures hung weightily from the waist, inducing back discomfort and necessitating contortion for sitting. Late Victorian fashion prominently featured bustle dresses, wherein skirts were layered over padded petticoats to enhance the skirt's volume and form. This trend concentrated fullness at the rear, augmenting the overall silhouette with added volume and shape. Corset. To complement the exquisitely embellished skirts, women donned snugly fitted corsets, beneath which a chemisette was layered. Atop the corset, a bodice enveloped a woman's torso, spanning from neck to waist, while the chemisette filled the neckline. Corsets of the era were notably constrictive, meticulously laced to sculpt an hourglass silhouette. Though evolving alongside fashion trends, alterations to corsets were minimal. The choice of corset style and lacing intensity hinged upon the desired silhouette. This mode of dressing catered to the leisurely lifestyle typical of Victorian aristocratic women. Victorian fashion for women prioritized accentuating small waists, often achieved through tightly laced corsets or corset substitutes. Boning within corsets served to mold the waist into the era's favored silhouette. Gloves. Class distinctions were paramount in Victorian society, with fashion serving as a conspicuous marker of one's social standing. Hands were particularly revealing of one's position in the hierarchy. Soft, slender, and pale hands were esteemed as indicators of refinement. Such hands implied a lack of exposure to the sun or manual labor, which could result in tanned, calloused, and rough skin. Consequently, both men and women donned gloves not only to shield their hands from the elements, but also to camouflage the effects of laborious work associated with the lower classes. In public settings, women invariably wore gloves, as displaying bare hands outside familial or intimate circles was deemed improper. Like corsets and sleeves, gloves were often snugly fitted on women, often a size smaller, to conform to the desired shapely aesthetic favored by Victorian society. Various occasions called for different styles of gloves, including those designated for mourning periods, typically in matching somber black attire. While men were also expected to wear gloves, they had more leeway to remove them in public, such as when greeting acquaintances with a handshake. Different events necessitated specific types of gloves. An aristocratic gentleman might cycle through as many as 6 pairs of gloves in a single day, depending on the demands of his social engagements. Fans. Fans have cycled in and out of fashion trends since their inception over 4,000 years ago in ancient Egypt. Resurging in popularity during the Victorian era, they served as a means for unmarried women to engage in playful and flirtatious behavior while adhering to the era's stringent social norms. Through the subtle language of fan movements, a lady could convey messages without uttering a single word. For example, bringing the fan's handle to one's lips signaled "kiss me." Oscar Wilde even wrote a popular play, Lady Windermere's Fan, about the power of these subtle overtures. Among the upper class, women carried elaborate fans crafted from luxurious materials such as ivory and silk, adorned with dyed ostrich feathers to add a touch of opulence. Evening gowns. Evening gowns donned by aristocratic Victorian women for formal occasions mirrored the styles of their daytime counterparts, but exuded heightened extravagance. These garments served as showcases of the wearer's wealth and social standing, crafted from sumptuous fabrics and adorned with intricate embellishments. As the era progressed, evening gowns featured plunging necklines, adding a touch of allure. Often sleeveless or featuring short Bertha-style sleeves, these gowns allowed women freedom of movement for dancing and dining. Accompanied by gloves, fans, and extravagant jewelry, the elaborate evening ensembles were meticulously curated to perfection. Towards the twilight of the Victorian era, formal gowns embraced the trend of puffed sleeves. Beneath these bell-shaped sleeves, women wore engagements, fork sleeves crafted from delicate lace or linen, adding an extra layer of refinement to the ensemble. Extravagant hues. Numerous groundbreaking inventions throughout history have emerged from serendipitous discoveries, much like the case of penicillin. Similarly, synthetic dye, pioneered by British chemist William Henry Perkin in 1853, originated as an unintended byproduct of his malaria treatment research. Dubbed Morvaine, this compound yielded striking purple hues when applied as a dye to fabrics like silk and cotton. The newfound shade swiftly gained popularity, with even Queen Victoria donning a vibrant purple gown at the 1862 International Exhibition in London. Prior to Perkin's breakthrough, dyes were laboriously extracted from natural sources such as insects and plants, rendering them exorbitantly priced and accessible only to the affluent elite. Dyes had long served as conspicuous markers of social class, their steep costs reinforcing exclusivity. With Perkin's innovation, however, these vibrant hues became accessible to a broader demographic. Suddenly, colors like pink, previously reliant on expensive dyes from distant locales like Brazil and Sumatra, became fashionable even among domestic servants. Consequently, affluent women of the late 19th century embraced pale pink attire as a means of distinguishing themselves from the lower classes and their vivid magenta garments. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please do not forget to support my channel by clicking like and subscribe buttons.